Good morning. Welcome to Planet Mojo. What a beautiful morning. Today, we're going to get back to work on the Craftsman trim for the tiny house. As you can see, if you haven't been watching the Trapdoor Woodworks channel, I got a lot of the electrical conduit in place. I got service drops. Oh, and I also did this. This is my setup to connect this to the service drop. That'll go up to a plug and up to that up there. Got a bunch of outlets in here. A lot of progress on this because it's been so nasty out. Quite the mess here. But today, with this nice day, I need to sand this outside. So I'm going to open up that door, get all this stuff sanded. This gets sanded with 3 different grits. I should be able to go over really quick, 80, 100, and 150. I should be able to go through them pretty darn quick, and I have to sand one edge as well. Then, see if I can find that. Well, doesn't matter. I'll find it sooner or later. Nope. I have my little router bit for putting on that tiny little corner round on the top. We'll try to get that done today as well. And once that is all done, I got to put this in the saw and put my dado blade in there and run it up through it. And I need to cut the relief on the back of the casing and the base molding. Natalie's going to start painting this stuff tomorrow. And with any luck, by the end of the week, we'll be putting it in. I'm not sure if it's going to be done this week, but it'll be done pretty soon. So the first thing I need to do, I don't really need to clean up here, but I think I'm going to clean this stuff up real quick and get all this organized. Then we'll get to sanding. Okay, nice and clean. It's been a while since I cut this stuff, but I do believe that this stack right here is the majority of the molding, and I have a few more things like this right here that I'll be cutting the little moldings out of, but I'll be doing that on a different day. What I'm going to do is start sanding this, and I'm only going to use 2 grits. This stuff is pretty darn smooth. So I'm going to use 80 and 150, and that should do it pretty good. I'm going to sand stuff and then remark it on the back side and stack it up. The base molding and the sill both need a back cut on them, so I'll put those right here, stack the other stuff next to it, and I'll go through my list and make sure that I have everything I need to get started. Like those plinth blocks, I had a rough piece of wood for that, but they weren't cut to length, and they need to be cut to length to sand. So I had to cut those right away, pull the saw all the way back over here, cut those, put the saw all the way back. But I'm ready to go now. Got a little bit of a breeze coming in here, and that's what I've been trying to avoid. I do not want this fine dust in here. I really got to get dust collection in here. Yeah, I can feel it right now. So hopefully that's not going to be a problem. I can move out farther and put my coat on. I believe it's like 40 degrees out there. It's pretty chilly. And like I said, a slight breeze. But other than that, we're ready to go. Okay, that's it for the 80 grit. You can see what looks like planer marks on the face of this. That's just the figure. This is soft maple. You can see these are nice and smooth. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see that or not, but there's planer marks and places where the planer is missing just a little bit and it makes like a streak over the whole thing. All that stuff has to come out with the first sanding, which is your coarsest. And now I got to go over everything again with a finer grit, and that takes off the scratches that the first sanding did. So I'm not going to film any of that. I'll just go ahead and sand this. Let me just see how long that took. I think I started at about 10. Oh, but I cleaned up. So about 2 hours to get this done, somewhere around there. And the next grit should take about half of that. You're just going over it really quick. So we'll get that done, and then we'll come back, and I need to get my dado blade set up in the saw, and you got to kind of configure it, put a board over the top of this and some weight, and then you run the blade up through this. This is solid UHMW, ultra high molecular weight plastic, real nice and slippery, but we need zero clearance, so that's gonna open up a slot. I'm not exactly sure how many dado blades I have. I think I only have 5/8 worth, but whatever it is, we'll make an opening in the throat plate at that size, and then the casing and the base molding both need that back cut, which is just a little relief on the back so that it fits up nice and tight against the wall. Okay, got everything sanded up. Now I got to cut that slot in my zero clearance insert. First, I got to get that adjusted in there, but thought I'd show you the dado blade. This is a stacked dado. They have wobble dados as well, which just kind of wobble on an eccentric. So what I got to do is lower this down. Lower this down all the way, and hopefully it doesn't hit the insert with it all the way down. Doesn't look like it. Sometimes, I believe it's with a 10-inch blade, it might actually hit the insert, and that kind of sucks. All right, I'm going to adjust this, and then we're going to put a board over this and then weight that down and then raise the blade up through it. All right, let me get this adjusted, and I'll show you how I raise the blade up. Just a minute. Yeah, this will take a little bit of messing around. I believe this plastic is warped, but we'll get it as good as we can. There we go. definitely is warped, but we'll make it work. You can see how far it dips down right there. Maybe this needs to go up a little bit. Yep. All right, I'm gonna mess around with this for a little bit and we'll get it as good as it can be. And we'll get to cutting. Yeah, this is not a real good quality insert. I'll make my own once I have the shop set up. Okay, that's as good as it's going to get. It had a pin in there for adjusting it for tightness, but I'm going to replace that with a screw, like on this one, at some point. I don't need it right now. Okay, I'm going to get something over the top of this and weight it down. I'll have to go back and forth and check on it because I'm doing this blind. All right. I lost my sense of smell and it's just starting to come back. I could smell it cutting that wood. That is actually enough. All right, at a later date, I'll raise this up and cut more, but that's enough for what we're doing. This thing's probably 30 years old. I can't see. About a quarter, and I need an 1/8 inch. So lower it down, get rid of the concrete, and we'll get set up for our cuts. Actually, we'll do this. Yeah, I'm gonna play around with this insert just a little more. See, it's touching in the middle and then it's down on both ends. I don't think there's anything I can actually do with that. I'm gonna have to try bending this thing straight. All right. Now, let's see if the insert wants to fly out. Right there. They stop making that noise after a couple uses, after it wears some of the side stuff. And a little bit of glide coat will help as well. Yeah, when I looked for zero clearance inserts for this saw. They were really hard to find. This saw is, 20 some years old, 22 years old maybe a little bit older than that. And I don't know if they make them anymore, but like I said, it was hard to find. All right, I got to go set up the roller and figure out my cut. I believe there's my list. It looks like about 3/4 of flat on both sides on the casing, and I'm going to go a little more than 1 inch on the base molding, and then that'll do it for this. All right, let me get set up. Okay, I got all of the larger molding done and it's ready for paint tomorrow. Yeah, this has been a long day. Got our back cuts in there, got profile routed on it, sanded, ready to go. These are the plinth blocks. Those go at the bottom of the door casing, kind of like that. These need to be trimmed to length. So that's ready to paint, ready to go tomorrow. We have the freeze boards right here. Those are this board right here. I don't have this apron cut yet, but that'll be real easy. And I don't have this top trim, this stop right here, or this cove. I don't have any of those done. I want to get all those done at the same time. I got to make something with this. I got to make a router table that's able to stand doing, where is my, I have a heavy router bit. Here it is. It's a 4-cutter head bit. This is for, where is that? This cap molding right here. And I think the 4-cutter head is going to make it a little easier. I'll have to go slow though. That's a fairly heavy cut and I don't want to do it in 2 passes. So I'm going to make something up. I'll probably drill some holes in this and screw it to a couple boards and kind of make something a little more stable that used to be inserted into the edge of the saw table at one time, and it wasn't going anywhere. Now it's just a piece of plastic. So in the next video, I need to cut this sill the way it's shown and do a bit of fitting over at the tiny house. So you got 4 parts. This is basically a box that fits into the opening, and the 3 the 3 jam extensions will be flush with the wall. This skinny line, that's them. They go back to the window, and then they have casing on the wall. This stuff right here, and then all this stuff on top. Yeah, we're really moving ahead. Tomorrow Natalie will be painting and I'll be setting up and routing the rest of this stuff and assembling this window frame. So if you want to see that or any of the other videos I'll be producing in the coming weeks, make sure you subscribe and click on the update icon. If you have any questions or comments, make sure you put them in the comment section below. And if you share the video and or give it a like, it helps the channel out greatly. Thanks for watching and have a great day.